Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Hi, how you doing today? I hope you're in good health and secure. Prajna. You read it all the time, the Prajna Paramita, the perfection of wisdom, Prajna sutras, so on and so forth. So there's dozens of words throughout Shakyamuni's teachings referring to this. We talked about omniscience the other day, which is not a good word for it, but as translations go, so wisdom, knowledge, penetrations, insight, skills of, we've also read it as, developing skillful means and expedient devices come from this way of understanding others. And so Buddhism stories and teachings are full of different ways of talking about how, as we develop our insights, our own insights in our Bodhisattva way, our Buddha way, to enlighten, to keep the light on in the Buddha eye, right? So that we perceive the world accurately and we get rid of our weird predilections and prejudices that we don't even know we have. We kind of reprogram and influence our karmic freight train to react and see and experience clearly rather than with our epistemology and our opinions and all that trash that's in the way, so that we can see what's truly happening instead of coloring it all with our cravings and clinging, right? This is Buddhism. The crux of Buddhism. And so, in terms of what it means to develop, and it's kind of, even language is a problem. Develop sounds like we're starting from scratch. The truth is we're unearthing, we're releasing, we're uncapturing our Buddha nature. All phenomena in the universe, all of it, has this perceptive ability. No, I'm not saying a rock can think. What I'm saying is that as fundamental energies go, self-perception is a fundamental energy. Whether it manifests in a rock, a tree, a planet, a star, that's a more accurate way of thinking about it. And so far, the only evidence we have of it manifesting, instantiating from potential, is in the sentient mind. Therefore, the sentient mind is the only thing capable of manifesting this enlightened observer, witness, moment to moment, clear observer. And the more we instantiate that clear observer, and it influences more and more our karmic freight train, the more knowledgeable, the more insight, the more wisdom we gain about our own life experience. And guess what? The more you gain insight into your own life experience, the more easily it is to perceive those tendencies in others. Because we're not all that different. We experience things differently, and that's where maybe there's a little bit of a rub there. But that rub is exactly why Bodhisattva is so important to our full, perfect enlightenment. This is what Shakyamuni keeps trying to get across to us. And in the Lotus Sutra, the gloves are off. You must do this. If not, then you are chasing a false nirvana, a limited nirvana, a smaller vehicle nirvana. You're not achieving perfect and complete right? Anuttara Samyak Sambodhai. So, Prajna is a term trying to capture this wisdom, knowledge, insight, experience, And no matter how you understand prajna, it is in the mind, right? Prajna is a condition of the mind. This is why all of the, not maybe all of them, but certainly a group of sutras and writings, commentaries, Nagarjuna is known for this, but there were others. Their writings are called the Perfection of Wisdom Sutras. It's all about prajna, yeah? So this is the entry in our book here, Buddhism Reference. Prajna is translated as discernment, insight, wisdom, etc., as I was saying. This term is used in a variety of contexts, and its meaning can vary depending upon the context. As a mental factor in the Abhidharma tradition, the very early teachings, prajna refers to correctly discerning things and events. Well, it does, but if you limit your understanding of prajna to that, then you might think of prajna as just being a smart person, but it's not an intellectual capacity, it's an enlightenment capacity. It affects the very nature of your experience of the cosmos. And, of course, you're not separate from it, right? In Nichiren Buddhism, prajna is a provisional teaching before reaching the ultimate method for latter age or modern era Buddhist teachings in practice. Why is this? Because all of the discussion about prajna before the Lotus Sutra is about developing the mind. But the teaching of the Lotus Sutra, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, transcends that mind, because the difficulty of teaching anything about the mind is maintaining the aspect of samsara as distinct from the aspect of Buddha. And developing insight, developing wisdom, developing knowledge, that's all in the Saha world. So we tend to equate it with our samsaric mind as a development of self. And that is a fallacy, right? Because ultimately, even though we develop all of those things in our Saha physical realm, it's all about gaining access to that very non-physical realm, or you could say the basis of the physical realm, the engine of life, moment to moment to moment. Oh, what's in my mouth? The original 6 perfections, remember those? Or we just read about the 10 paramitas, yeah? Prajna is one of them. The original 6 perfections ended with wisdom, or prajna, which in Mahayana Buddhism is equated with the doctrine of sunyata, or emptiness, yeah? But emptiness, again, problems with words, yes? Emptiness not as an empty jar, but emptiness of the jar itself, the glass it's made of, the fact that it's a moment-to-moment instantiation, not a permanently arising of its own nature thing. It's fundamentally amalgams of energy in a certain state. Very simply, this is the teaching that all phenomena are without a self-essence. Another wordplay to try to describe this thing. And wisdom, the late Robert Aitken Roshi wrote, is, quote, the raison d'être of the Buddha way, end quote. Prajna is the teaching that enlightenment occurs only in the sentient mind as a conscious experience. Again, words. The term prajna is used in the following contexts: one of the threefold trainings, one of the 5 spiritual faculties and one of the 5 powers, one of the 6 paramitas in the Sanskrit tradition, one of the 10 paramis in the Pali tradition, one of the 25 beautiful mental factors within the Abhidharma Sangaha of the Pali tradition, one of the 5 object-determining mental factors within the Abhidharma Samukaya of the Sanskrit tradition, and one of the 10 omnipresent mental factors in the Abhidharma Kosa of the Sanskrit tradition. From Merriam-Webster, the transcendent wisdom or supreme knowledge in Buddhism gained through intuitive insight. So all of these words are not wrong, but our discussion about prajna and the realm that it defines aren't contained in these words, is it? As Buddhists, we understand prajna to be the actual experience of truth. And that truth develops over time, is full of, as you've heard me say so many, and I haven't said it in a while, but aha moments, right? When those moments happen, they destroy huge swaths of what we used to think, to the point where we don't even know what we've overcome or transcended, because now we have a completely new vision, not just of the thing which we got the aha moment from, but the whole worldview changes. It reverberates throughout our knowing, our epistemology, our building blocks of knowing. But prajna is the experience of that mind opening, Buddha eye opening, Gohonzon doors flying open. Prajna. And then you hear somebody else talking about something tangential and you go, oh, I remember being trapped in that thinking a long time ago, and then I saw this. How can I approach them and offer them the insight I gained without making them feel like I'm being condescending, right? This is learning skillful means. Namo Myo Renge Kyo. So prajna. The next term is prajaparamita. And I have Wikipedia inscription. Anyway, we'll talk about that then. So prajna, interesting term. Another one of those Buddhist terms which can take you down a rabbit hole to really figure out. But as always, I caution you, be careful the rabbit hole you follow. A lot of things lead back to early teachings, and that's fine as long as you realize what they are. Come back to Mahayana. It's much simpler than all of that convoluted training for people who were really, really, really stuck, right? Sometimes, though, it can give you a great insight. Just remember Namo Myo Renge Kyo, right? Keep your practice strong. Thank you for your support as always. Links in the description below. Your support is vital, since I've demonetized everything now because I'm sick of commercials. Sick of them. I want this resource, as always, to be a support for your confidence and knowing about being a good consumer and just buying stuff. It's just too much of a distraction. So I'm relying on you guys. Even just liking and subscribing is a Bodhisattva act, helps grow the Sangha, and that's support as well. So I thank you for that. Patrons, you guys are amazing. All of you. Any purchases you make on books, ebooks, mandala, or donations through Patreon or PayPal, Namo Myo Renge Kyo. Thank you. And I urge you to savor your practice. Slow down, really ingest it, right? Better to chant Namo Myoho Renge Kyo 30 times with sincerity, determination, right? I have little cheat sheets or presentations on threefoldlotus.com you can download to give you something to think about for each of the characters, just to enter into that state of Buddha, right? It should feel like if you know chess or checkers, or several games have a function in them, a rule in them where if you get one of your players to the other side of the board, you can then transform that player into whatever other player you want in that location. In chess, it's usually a queen, but sometimes it's a knight. It's the thing that gets you checkmate, right? So that you can win. In checkers, what do? You king me or something? What is that? Anyway, this is what we're single-mindedly instantiating Buddha. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Whoa, my Buddha mind is active. Look at how the world is different. And the world you get to focus on is your Buddha nature. This mandala of what the ceremony in the sky and the treasure tower would feel like. Feel yourself floating with the entire congregation in that chapter of the Lotus Sutra. Presence at the Buddha. Yes. All right. I'll shut up now. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care of your health. And I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.